Welcome back to Let's Talk. Today we're going to talk about daydreaming. Well, we all dream. What I call vanilla dreams, what we call nightmares, and also daydreaming. So today we're going to be talking about daydreaming. So, what is a daydream after all, and what's its purpose? So, we like this definition that I located out on Wikipedia. Love Wikipedia at times. Daydreaming is the stream of consciousness that detaches a person from current external tasks, like ironing, when attention drifts to a more personal and internal direction. Daydreaming obviously happens in each of our minds, so nobody knows what's in there. But I thought it was kind of interesting that they had did a study, and the participants in the study said that they spent 47% of their waking time on average daydreaming. Peggy.
Oh my goodness. 47, that's a huge number, particularly if that number is an every single day number.
I know.
That you do it all the time.
Half your time.
Yeah, half your time. But who doesn't like escaping reality, especially these days,
Yeah.
and letting your imagination roam? Besides, daydreaming, you can help in solving problems.
But then there's those people who say, stop daydreaming, Charlie, and get back to work or your studies. What do you say about that?
Well, there are probably times when daydreaming can distract you from a task.
Yeah.
And it can make you, for example, if you're, let's say, a construction person and you have an electric saw in your hand, it's not a good time to be distracted and daydreaming. You need to focus.
Yeah.
But daydreaming is really a part of all of us, and it can be positive for the most part.
I think it can.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And there isn't a lot of research available on daydreaming, but what there is points to how imagining events during daydreaming can actually help to solve a problem a person has been working on as a result of the daydreaming that they're doing.
And Peggy has an example from Tesla and Thomas Edison.
Well, it's kind of funny because Tesla, for those who aren't too much familiar with Tesla, he was kind of the guy who fought with Edison over electricity. And Edison kind of won the battle, and I think we might be better off today if Tesla had, but that's my opinion. Anyway, he's a person who basically imagined everything. He didn't really write down much of anything. There's very little left behind when he died in the way of notebooks and that kind of thing. Very little, because he did it all in his head. And in fact, if you read about Tesla, you'll find out he himself said he did it all in his head. He figured it all out there.
And I'd like to point out that Elon Musk, who's famous for his Tesla electric car. So that's where the name Tesla came from.
Yeah.
Very famous scientist in the 30s and 40s and 50s.
Yeah, so Elon decided to honor him with that.
He did.
So that's kind of cool. Yeah. So anyway,
and what about you as a writer? What do you say about daydreaming, Peggy?
Well, that's an easy one, because when you're a writer, you make your living daydreaming. So, yeah, if somebody tells me to stop daydreaming, it's kind of like telling me to stop working.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different kind of direction, but still, it is daydreaming.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very amusing, because sometimes you can be actually working on a story, and if your brain gets a little off track and you start daydreaming, that's when you come up with the actual best thing in the book.
Yeah. Well, the thing that attracted me to a discussion about daydreaming is it's such a personal activity. It's not like something you're sharing.
It's not a group activity.
Yeah, you're all alone. And someone might catch you daydreaming and ask you what you're daydreaming about. That's happened to me a few times. Which led me to ask this question that Peggy and I had a very long discussion about, which is, could it be that daydreaming is the actual natural state of the mind until the mind is forced to attend to a task at hand. Maybe daydreaming is really our natural place. I just think it's a great question.
And I think it is too, because I agree with you, and I do believe that there's a very strong possibility that it's a much more natural thing. Because, for one thing, don't you feel a lot more relaxed
Yeah, definitely.
when you're daydreaming or not?
Yeah.
You know, and another example I gave Charlie earlier too is, I mean, we're animals like other animals, and for example, a dog, he's kind of focused on his food. You give him a meal, and he's focused on that. It's like when we're focused on our job,
Yeah.
right? Okay, when he finishes his meal, he goes back to being a dog, just la 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 la. Well, it's kind of the same thing for people.
Yeah. My
Once-
example was I do my house cleaning on Tuesdays, and it's about as boring of a task as you can get, and it's repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse. And on Tuesday, 5 hours of daydreaming. And I couldn't say what I daydreamed about,
But you're more or less aware of the fact that you're daydreaming.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
So anyway, I think there's nothing wrong with daydreaming. We kind of like it. So I think there's a powerful argument that can be made for this being our natural state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm with
Definitely.
you on that one. The very idea that we discussed earlier about the positive side of daydreaming and the negative side of daydreaming implies some kind of judgment.
Yeah.
That we have come to a point in society and life, whatever, that you kind of negatively judge the concept of daydreaming.
Yeah,
And I think that's really a very, it's a sad place to be in,
I
because
do too.
I believe that it's been not even a matter of I think or I believe, but it's been proven many times that the state of daydreaming is when people come up with solutions to very large problems. It's when they come up to the idea, well, in Tesla's case, of how electricity should work.
Yeah.
And different things like that. And it's a constant thing. And Einstein was a
Yeah.
big daydreamer.
Yeah.
He believed in daydreaming enormously. So I think we need to kind of get past the idea that it's a negative thing. And when they're asking you, you know, what you're daydreaming about, I think it might be time to be a little more open with each other about what we are.
I think we should too. I mean, I'm sure every single person who's watching this YouTube video has had the experience of some teacher calling out a kid in the classroom for daydreaming.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a place where we all of us need to attend to what we're doing.
Oh, of course.
But, you know, not all the time, and daydreaming could be really beneficial.
So the Daughters of Wisdom are great proponents of daydreaming.
We are.
Yes.
Definitely.
I think it's time to accept it as a normal human pastime.
It is.
And a normal human function, and stop condemning it. I mean,
Yep.
accept the fact that there are obviously places where we need to focus.
Yeah.
When you're at your work, you need to focus on your work.
If you're a carpenter
If you're a
with
carpenter,
a hammer in your hand, pay attention.
Don't hit your thumb. But aside from that, I think, you know, we need to give it credit where it's credit's due. And I think that daydreaming can be very beneficial.
Yeah. And we have an assignment. We are having this discussion about how we often see that people are told to go meditate. So we thought, wouldn't it be really interesting if we gave our viewers the assignment of stop meditating and go and daydream.
Yeah.
And instead of forcing your mind to be quiet, new meditators have a hard time quieting their mind, then maybe you should do the more natural thing, Peggy, and go out there and do some active daydreaming.
And let it just go where it's going to go.
Yep.
And this would be fun. Write in a journal or
Yeah.
on your computer and open a document. Just after you get done, maybe jot down a few of the things that you thought about.
Yeah.
You
there
might
be
surprise yourself.
There could be a nugget in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so one last thing for me. And we're not sure that we think there's a connection, but it's sort of interesting to think about daydreaming and the law of attraction manifesting. You know, our brain activity is all energy.
Energy, yes.
And the whole idea between the law of attraction is that you're attracting something that you want. Oh, let's be real here. It's either somebody to date or it's money.
It's money.
That's what most of the books or most of the posts are about.
Let's attract that.
But in a way, daydreaming is a place where you can visualize in great detail something that you're very attracted to, like, I don't know, redecorating the inside of your house or building a house or a car
Yeah.
that you want, right
Yeah.
down to the details. We're not sure that there is a connection, but it's certainly something interesting to think about.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. So, what do you say?
On that positive note, go out there and think about things instead
And
of
that's
just
right.
trying
Do
to tell
some
your.
daydreaming.
That's right.
And
yeah.
if we run into you, we promise to not say, stop daydreaming.
Dreaming. yeah. Yeah. So this is our wrap up. Discussion on daydreaming. We hope you enjoyed it, and go out there and have a few daydreams of your own.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.